Good morning, this is Kamera. We're on day number 171, Psalms chapter 36 through 39. Got my grandson Benji with me. Hi, Benji. Hi, Benji. Say hi. Yeah, he's into his book. it's about Mickey and his life, in his world. Okay, Psalm 36 talks about send whispers to the heart of the wicked, and talks about the actions and characteristics of the wicked. They have no fear of God. They're blinded by their conceit, their lies. This chapter also talks about God's unfailing love. You care for people and animal alike. You are a fountain of life. Pour out your unfailing love to those who love you, Lord. That's Psalm 36. Now, Psalms 37 is deep. I remember reading that one. I know I mentioned I read 37 almost every night every morning, every afternoon for months. I also did the same thing with Psalm 37. I'm not going to read the entire Psalm 37, just take a few things out of it. It says, Psalm 37, don't worry about the wicked or envy those who do wrong. Trust in the Lord and do good. Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Commit all your ways to the Lord, and you will prosper. I love that. This is something you really would like to read as often as possible. So many promises of God, and just encouraging you to stay faithful to the Lord. He says, be still and wait patiently on God. And stop being angry. For those times you're angry, stop being angry. Don't lose your temper. He talks about the wicked versus the righteous. The wicked will fail, the righteous will prosper. Better to be a godly with little than a rich man who's evil. And so he talks. I love that chapter. So spend time reading that chapter, and talks about how God deals with the wicked and how He deals with the righteous. He says the godly gives generous, and the wicked borrow and do not repay. And that's something we have to look at as men and women of God. Do we repay when we borrow? And we feel like these big companies, when we borrow from them, it's okay to not repay because they're big companies. Our friends, our family don't repay. A lot of people feel that way, especially if it's a company. Yeah, more than I have. I've heard that before. So he says the wicked, they borrow and do not repay. And the righteous, they give generously. And so I was taught to always give. I give. Even if I give as unto the Lord. And I don't worry about what the person's going to do to it. That's between them and God. If God give me the heart to give, I give. If someone asks, I give. If it's someone who most likely would give, when you give to them, they might use what you give them wrong. I don't give them money. I just give them something that they can use. If they say they need help with their light bill, I'll give you something towards your light bill if I can't pay the whole light bill. If you need money for food, I'll give you food, that type of thing. So there's really no reason why not to give. People on the street, if you don't want to give them money and they say they're hungry, just keep little snacks in your car. Give them water, give them snacks or whatever, if you have them. I've done that before too. I'll just roll my window down and just say, here, take this. You gotta be thirsty standing out here in the sun. But anyway, I've done that before. And so yeah, so there's ways to give. And we don't want to have a stony heart. Well, they're just the way they're doing it stops you from giving, but you are accountable to God. Righteous people give generously. And at least that's what the scripture says. He says, God directs the steps of the godly. Isn't that something? He says, though they stumble, they do not fall. Their Lord holds their hand. So yeah, that's a good one. It says more than that about what God does for the godly. I just pointed those couple things out. Psalms 38. O Lord, do not rebuke me in your anger. Do not discipline me in your rage. So this is another time. Clearly, someone is going through something in this book here. in this chapter here. He says, my body is sick, healthy in my health, and broken. It's broken because of sin. So basically, this chapter is talking about the sin he's going through and how his body is being attacked and how God disciplines. And sometimes he allows us to get sickness or what have you. And that's what I pick up from this right here. He says, you hear every sigh. You know exactly what I'm going through, Lord. You hear me. And he says, my enemies, they lay traps for me. They plan my ruin. So yeah, he says, I'm silent before them and I wait for you, Lord. Don't let my enemies gloat over me. I confess my sins. Isn't that something? I am deeply sorry for what I have done. Do not abandon me, Lord. Come quickly to help me. That was Psalms 38. Psalms 39 is pretty cool. What I like, Psalms 39. Psalm 39, listen to how it starts. I said to myself, I will watch what I do and watch what I say. He says, I will hold my tongue. He says, I will let my tongue I will hold my tongue even in the midst of the ungodly. And even if I have some good things to say, I'm just going to hold my tongue. I love that. See, you know that part. He's like, those words they're saying, I mean, the things he want to say, they're burning his soul, basically. He want to say something so bad. But he said he's going to be silent. And, yeah, he's igniting the fire. He has so much he want to say. He says, but the Lord reminds me that I'm only here on this earth briefly. He says we are moving shadows. We're heaping up the wealth and have no idea how we're going to spend it. He says, my hope is in you, Lord. He says, rescue me from my rebellion. And I thought about that. He says, I'm silent, not saying a word. My punishment is from you, Lord. And I thought about that when David was running from his son, when his son wanted to fight him or kill him, take over the kingdom and kill him. And there was this one guy who was saying insulting words to him. And David, one of David's warriors, wanted to kill the man because of what he was saying to David. And David said, well, if the Lord is telling him to say those things, then who are we to stop him? And I'm thinking about this right here. He says, I want to say something so bad to these people who are saying some bad things. And even if they're not bad words, I want to say to them, I just want to say something. I'm going to wait on the Lord. And he basically says that, he says something about the Lord. My punishment is from the Lord. So when someone is saying bad stuff to him, he's basically saying that is the Lord who's allowing them to say those things. That's deep. David, you are a better person than me. And the reason why I say this about, I'm going to keep my tongue. I hold my tongue a lot, but I am very outspoken. Nothing malicious, nothing nasty, nothing to tear people down. But I will put you in your place. So I'm going to take this word today. And I'm going to hold my tongue. Even my husband annoys me. He looks at me sideways whenever I say something back to him that he doesn't like. I'm like, but you provoke me. I'm going to hold my tongue. I'm going to practice meekness and humility. I'm going to let the Lord handle that situation, whatever it might be. So I'm going to be praying, Lord, hold my tongue. Hold my tongue. This shall pass. You deal with that situation. So yeah, that's Psalms 39, right? So guys, these Psalms though, right? These Psalms, please read them. Take the time and just read them. Even if you let your phone play them, you're going to have to play them at least 7 times just to catch every word. But when you read them, you actually take the time to meditate on each word, each verse. And these becomes your prayer. It helps you examine yourselves. So there, guys, yeah. Day number 171. Psalms chapter 36 through 39. You have a God-filled blessed day.